Hello friends, last class in our part 1 and part 2 we have started our electrostatics. Today we will learn Coulomb's law in vector form. Already we have talked about Coulomb's law. What was Coulomb's law? The force of attraction or repulsion between two charges, which is directly proportional to product of the charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. That means if we are considering two charges, either it will be positive or negative charges, there will be a force of attraction or repulsion. If unlike charges, then they will attract the same charges, they will like charges, they will repel. So today we will start our section Coulomb's law in vector form, which is very important. Coulomb's law in vector form. Okay, let's consider two charges. Consider charge Q1 and another charge Q2. Let's consider these are same charges. That means if it is positive, this is also a positive charge. Okay, then these two charges will be having a force of repulsion. Force of repulsion. That means the force of repulsion means these two will be having the force direction will be in the opposite directions. For here the force directions will be here, the force direction will be in this direction, and here the force direction will be in this direction. Okay, I am considering F12. What is F12? F12 is the force acting on this charge Q1 due to this charge Q2. What is F12? F12 is the force acting on this charge Q1 due to this charge Q2, that is 1, 2. Then what will be F21? F21 will be the force acting on this charge Q2 due to this charge Q1. Okay, let's find what is F12. We are going to find the force. Force is a vector quantity. So in vectors we have a rule that we have to put an arrow mark to represent it as a vector. So F12 represents the force vector, which represents the force acting on this charge due to this charge, which will be equal to, already we have learned our Coulomb's law. Using the Coulomb's law, we have the equation. What was our equation? 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. The product of charges, that will be here, these are the two charges, therefore product of the charges will be Q1 Q2 divided by the distance, square of the distance. Okay, that means 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 product of charges Q1 Q2 divided by square of the distance. I am considering from Q1 to Q2 the distance is R12. From Q1 to Q2 I am considering the distance is R12 square. Okay, since it is a vector quantity, we have to represent the direction. So the unit vector along this direction, I am considering it as R12 cap. Understand? We are considering Coulomb's law in vector form. So we consider two charges Q1 and Q2. Okay, we consider two charges Q1 and Q2, and F12 represents the force acting on this charge due to this charge. Okay, now we found F12, which is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 divided by R12 the whole square. What is this? This is our unit vector. Okay, similar way we can find F21. What will be F21? Same way, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 product of these two charges Q1 Q2 or Q2 Q1, that will be same, Q1 Q2 divided by distance from here to here, that will be R21. I am considering it as R21. Even though R12 is equal to R21, I am considering it like R21 whole square. What will be the unit vector along this direction? This will be R21 cap. These are the unit vector which represents the direction of force. Okay, now we got these two forces. From these unit vector directions, you can directly say this direction is opposed to this one. That means R12 cap each is equal to minus R21. Okay, r12 cap is equal to what? Minus means the direction is opposite. Direction is opposite, so we can write also f12, vector f12, which is equal to minus f21. Clear? This gives our Coulomb's law in vector form. You have to study Coulomb's law in vector form also. First of all, what was Coulomb's law? Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges is directly proportional to product of the charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Using that law, we obtained it in the vector form also, which is very important. Okay, for vector form we consider two charges q1 and q2. We obtained the force on this charge due to this one, and also we found the force on this charge due to this one also. Those are f12 and f21. f12 force vector over this one and force vector over this one. From this we found that f12 is equal to minus f21. Okay, clear? Okay, let's move on to the superposition principle. This you have to learn it. Okay, next we move on to the superposition principle. Okay, let's discuss superposition of electrostatic force. Okay, we are going to consider numerous number of charges, not one or two charges. Okay, let's consider charges q1, q2, q3, q4, etc. There are n number of charges. Let's consider n number of charges will be there. q1, q2, q3, q4, etc. And also we are considering a charge q, another charge q. Another charge q is here. Okay, another charge q is also here. We have to represent the position vector for each charge. Consider the position vector for this charge, which is r1, vector r1, and for this charge I'll write this like this. Okay, for q2, r2, vector r2, and for q3 I'm considering it as vector r3. Okay, and for q I'm considering the unit vector r. Okay, consider charges q1, q2, q3, etc. Number of charges will be there, and we can write the position vector. We can found the position vector with respect to the origin. Okay, and q1 represent what is r1? R1 vector r1 will be the position vector for this q1 based on the origin, and r2 vector will be the position vector for q2 with respect to this origin, and q3 for q3 r3 cap. We are going to find what is the force on this charge. Due to all other remaining charges, Okay, we are going to find the force on this charge due to all other charges, whether it will be 3 charges, 4 charges, or n number of charges. We are going to find what is the resultant force for this charge due to all other charges. To find this, we need the superposition principle. Okay, that means the superposition of electrostatic force says that if you want to find the force for this charge, first of all we know that there will be a force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges, and also there will be a force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges, and also there will be a force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges, right? So we have to take the vector sum. then only we will get the resultant vector, resultant force. Okay, first of all let's talk about these two charges, q1 and q. Okay, q1 and q. Consider these are two similar charges, then how will you draw the vector direction? Okay, these will repel, these two charges will repel. If it is same charge, that means it will repel. Okay, if it is the opposite charges, they will attract, then the force direction will be like this, then the force direction will be like this if they are similar charges. I'm considering here these are, I'm sorry, these are if they are similar charges, they will repel. Okay, okay. Consider these are two similar charges, they will repel. I wrote it like attractive, sorry. These are two similar charges, then the force direction, force on this charge q due to this charge will be like this, right? This will be the force direction due to this charge, force on q due to q1. Similarly, what will be the force direction for q2 due to q? Like similar way we can draw this one. Okay, what is this? This says the force on q2 due to force on q2, force on q due to q2. Similar way you can draw these two interactions, force interaction. Okay, what was this? This was F1, vector F1, force on this charge due to q1. Let's consider q2, this force is F2, vector F2, this is F3. That means the resultant force on this charge due to all these forces will be, we can write it in the way, yes, we can write it like the resultant force vector F is equal to vector F1 plus vector F2 plus vector F3, since we are considering only three charges. Okay, now you got the idea for superposition. Okay, that means since we are considering numerous charges, not two charges, we are considering system of charges. Since we are considering system of charges, if we want to find the force on a charge due to the remaining charges, what we have to do? We have to take the vector sum of the remaining charges, vector sum for the remaining charges. You got the idea? Okay, then how will you define the superposition of electrostatic force? Yes, you can define it like the force on a given charge, the force on a given charge is equal to the vector sum. The force on a given charge is equal to the vector sum of forces of the remaining charge. Okay, you got it? Okay, yes, I will write the definition. If you are considering another charge q4, you can draw the vector direction for that one. If there are n number of charges also, you can draw the vector directions, and if you sum up all the vectors, vector sum will get the resultant force on that charge. Okay, okay, you will write the definition. The total force on a given charge is equal to the vector sum of the Okay, let's look on the definition for superposition of electrostatic force. The total force on a given charge is equal to the vector sum of the forces exerted on it by all remaining charges. That means, since we are considering in our example, we consider only 3 charges and we found the force on a charge Q which is placed at a vector position vector R. So what was the force or resultant force on that charge? Yes, that will be the resultant of, that will be this vector sum of all other remaining forces. That means superposition of electrostatic force says that the total force on a given charge is equal to the vector sum of the forces exerted on it by all remaining charges. Okay, that means we learned Coulomb's law in vector form, then we learned superposition of electrostatic force. Okay, let's move on to the properties of electric field lines.